My guest on the Culture Crawl today is Doug Elliott, and Doug is a Eastern Iowa performer who has, I think, maybe your first solo headliner gig.
It is my first
coming
solo
up.
headliner gig.
Of course, we know you from so many things, notably SPT Theater.
Correct.
Which you are one of the founding members of, and of course, you just had a show here a couple of weeks ago with them, right?
Just last weekend, we had a great show at CSPS.
And now you are performing your own cabaret show entitled Under the Influence.
Right.
And it's coming up next weekend, correct?
Right, November 14th and 15th at the Opus Concert Cafe.
Okay, well, that's, as you know, that's one of our favorite venues.
It is a great venue. Wow, I really enjoyed the last show that I saw there, Max Wellman.
Yeah, yep, that was First Friday Jazz last month, I think. So first off, before we talk repertoire for this, tell me what it was after, all these years of performing with friends that made you say, time for a solo project.
Oh, well, I got sick of
those jerks.
Right, I got sick of my friends. Oh, they know that's not true, though, because I've surrounded myself with friends, again, as I always do. I don't know. Maybe it's part of turning 56 and thinking it's time to put yourself out there. The other important thing was, my wife is a performer as well, Gail Elliott, and she's done some things with SPT, Writer's Room, and the Evening with Friends concert. And this was an opportunity for us to do something together, to get her back out there behind the mic. So that's really exciting.
So, and based on what I've read about this, what you have really focused on in designing the program for this is people and songs and things that have influenced you, hence the term Under the Influence.
Right. So Gerard Estea, my good friend, is the music director. When I told him I wanted to produce this project, I said, I'm not really sure what it should be, though. And he said, well, what do you mean you don't know what it should be? It should be what you do. It should be standards. It should be musical theater. It should be pop. And I said,
it should be stuff you like.
Right.
I'm going to do a full program of things I hate.
Yeah, things that I'm drawn to. I think people who know my performance know that I like melody, and so I started to think about why is that the music that I've chosen to feature? Why do I feel like that's my wheelhouse? And sure, you can go to the artists, the performers, the composers, the lyricists, but it struck me it's really the people in my life who have led me to those choices, who provided the environment or the influence for me to realize that music existed and it was music that I liked and that fit me, if you will.
So give me an example.
So the first set is very much made up of standards from the American Songbook and some musical theater. And that's what I grew up with in my house. My mom is still an incredible musician. Like my good friend Gerard, she'll sit down at the piano and you'll say, do you know I'll Take Manhattan? She'll say, no, but hum a few bars. And then you say, well, that's a little high. Okay, well, I don't sing, start, and I'll just follow you. And
I hate people who can do
I know.
that.
I don't know where that gene went.
Off?
I didn't get it. None of us got it out of my 6 siblings, so maybe it's going to show up a couple generations down the road. So the first act is really reflective of the influence of my parents. And again, my wife, Gail, we met in high school. We performed in musical theater in high school. That's the kind of music on many of the road trips when we were first married and had no children, and then married and had young children we needed to keep entertained. It was the musical songbook that we went to. And then the second set is going to be very much pop and contemporary music, some of the influence, I think, of my sons and probably my friends at SPT Theater. So the title probably is more provocative than the show itself is. Again, people who know me well wouldn't be surprised to see a tumbler in my hand. But it's really about the influence of those individuals in my life and the music they've led me to.
Talking with Doug Elliott, who's doing the cabaret show Under the Influence next weekend at the Opus Concert Cafe in Cedar Rapids, right next to the Paramount Theater. So without spoiling anything too much, give us a couple of titles.
Sure. Street Where You Live. Again, I'm drawn to melody. I'll Take Manhattan. Autumn Leaves. Sort of hate to give this one away, but I'm excited about doing The Girl from Ipanema. That's a song my mom played on the piano all the time, but what really drew it to me to perform it was stumbling across a a video on IPTV one day of Frank Sinatra doing it with Joe Beam.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both sitting at these really cool mid-century modern chairs, which I'm drawn to. And during the entire song, Sinatra's smoking a cigarette. It was a heck of a long cigarette because it lasted the entire song.
And that's not a short song.
No, and I'd almost love to do it that way because in addition to the music, just this picture of this smoke encircling them was really cool. But I won't do it with a cigarette.
Yeah, but it's not legal.
Right.
So
it's not legal and it's not healthy.
Yeah, not really an option.
Though if people choose to smoke, that's good for them.
Anything that ended up in the show that surprised you, that you would never have thought you'd be singing, or any song that you did not like at first, but it grew on you so much that now it's a favorite?
Sort of. I'm going to do a Colin Hay tune that I was not familiar with. And I heard it on the radio one day, and what drew me to it was I could tell, gosh, there must be like 3 guitars in this song. And we haven't mentioned it, but the people who will be standing behind me, the incredible musicians that are probably going to make this a success, again, are Gerard Estea, Craig Erickson, Greg Cans, and Jackson Bartlemay, who's quite an accomplished guitarist himself. What drew me to this song was the opportunity to be surrounded by 3 acoustic guitars. But then I started really listening to it, and it's turned out to be one of my favorite songs. It's a great melody and a great lyric that just fell in my lap, quite frankly.
The show is Under the Influence. It's the 14th and the 15th of November at the Opus Concert Cafe. I think you can go to artsiowa.com if you would like more information or to buy tickets.
Right. And it's a little tricky to navigate, but I think if you go to Opus Cafe and then tickets or events, it'll take you right to that. You can also call. The phone number is 366-8203 and place a ticket order that way, which I'd hope you do. So,
well, that's the point.
Right. We're looking for big crowds on both Friday and Saturday.
Well, it just sounds delightful. Looking forward to hearing you step out front and center and, of course, hear the great musicians you're surrounding yourself with as well.
Thanks so much, Dennis. I always love our little chats, and I don't mind so much that it's about me today. So,
Doug Elliott and Under the Influence coming up next weekend at the Opus Concert Cafe.